Welcome back to Lodge Life, a series based in the heart of the Great Bear Rainforest, Rivers Inlet, British Columbia, Canada. We have just arrived at the lodge after a 2-day, 13-hour boat journey from Vancouver. Now it's time to unload, get settled in, and start waking up the cannery for the 2026 season. There's a lot of work ahead of us. The boardwalk needs some attention, and more staff will be arriving soon to help tackle the long list of projects. We've already had some grizzly bear sightings this year, and I'm so excited to share it all with you as I document another season of lodge life while cooking full-time in one of the most remote and beautiful places on the West Coast. Sharon's blue room. Does it feel like you never left?
Yeah.
I didn't need to bring anything.
Yeah, everything's here already. It feels so good to be home, surrounded by nothing but wilderness. Time to get to work. Everyone pitches in to bring the food into the pantry so I could start putting everything away and getting dinner started. Outside, the guys are already tearing apart sections of the boardwalk, and our fuel dock and shack are making their way back from Dawson's Landing where they spent the winter. They're being delivered and set up by Robbie and Amber, the coolest father-daughter team in the inlet. Not long after, John Salo arrives with his tug and A-frame boom, which will be doing some heavy lifting for us over the next week. Meanwhile, Sharon is hard at work in the Hilton, giving it a deep clean. For now, we'll be eating all of our meals in here. The kitchen is slowly coming together. Everything's getting cleaned and organized, and dinner is served at 6 p.m. every night. It's been a very productive first day, and now it's time to relax and get some rest so that we can do it all again tomorrow. Later that evening, Ted and I happened to be outside when we noticed something very unusual in the sky. It moved slowly and appeared to be the same size as the moon. Neither of us had ever seen anything quite like it, and we're still not sure what to make of it. What do you think? Every morning around 6 a.m., I get ready for another day in the kitchen. My commute is less than a minute through the cannery. This morning, though, I quickly discovered we have a little problem here. Mice. First things first, I get the oven and flat top turned on since they take a while to heat up. Then I fill up a spray bottle with food-safe Multimax cleaner. Don't forget the coffee, Jenny. Then I started cleaning and sanitizing my workspace before preparing breakfast. Afterwards, I armed 3 brand new mouse traps and set them around the kitchen. And now we wait. Good morning, Seal. You're real cute. It's time to get the A-frame boom into position, which looks pretty easy when you have 3 men moving it who've worked together for years and who grew up on the ocean. And good news, my traps are working. This morning, the guys are removing some of the old beams and joists. Even with the boom, there's still a lot of heavy lifting and hard labor involved. Sometimes the tools they're using end up in the water, and the only way to get them back is with a magnet. Not the kind of fishing Kevin was hoping for. And now Christian is down below looking for a hammer. John's teaching the guys hand signals that they'll have to use to help direct him lift the beams out of place. The crew are going to have to move carefully, pay close attention, and communicate constantly. They work together like a well-oiled machine, but there's another challenge too: keeping their balance. All of this work is being done right over the water, and one wrong step could send someone through the structure and into the ocean for a very cold swim. Now that most of the old structure has been removed, the rebuild can begin. So today we welcomed another set of helping hands to the project. He used to work here as a fly-in guide and now has returned to put his carpentry skills to use. This morning, we had our first grizzly bear sighting right here in the bay. It was a large male and smaller young female. So we got into the boat with Dwayne and went over for a closer look. What a great way to start the day. Now let's head up to the burn pile and see where Kevin's been bringing all the old boardwalk pieces. Once we have a couple good days of rain, we'll be able to start a fire. The rebuild begins by lifting and placing the new yellow cedar beams onto the pilings and securing them with drift pins. Then the joists are installed and treated at each joining point with copper nephthenate to help protect the wood from rot. Now the boardwalk can start being laid down. Luckily, we've been enjoying warmer than average weather, making the outdoor work so much more enjoyable. With a lot of skill, experience, and teamwork, all these pieces come together like a giant puzzle. I love our crew so much. We all get along really well, which is so important when you live and work together for 5 or 6 months of the year. But as much as I love our crew, there are some residents of the rainforest that I'm just not quite as fond of. This morning, I'm heading up to the cabin where the winter watchman stays during the off-season to empty out the kitchen before the owner arrives. Definitely getting a leg workout today. Now I can go through all the food. Some of it will get thrown in the slop bin, some will get eaten through the next week, and some I will store for the winter watchman for next year. Next, we tackle the walk-in freezer. Since it gets shut down through the winter, we can use it for liquor storage. Once that's done, Sharon can start organizing the wine room. She's been busy all over the cannery, deep cleaning, organizing, restocking, and turning this place back into a home. After work, we've been spending our evenings together.
Give her!
Sometimes that means taking the side-by-side up the hill to see what we can find. Today, we are visiting the frog eggs that the guys told us about. A small reminder that spring is waking up all around us.
Bear aware.
Now Rob is starting to rebuild a set of stairs that were washed away in a storm a couple of years ago. He begins by reframing the riser. With some help from the guys, they get it into position. My contribution to the project is marking where it's going to sit. Rob then drills a hole where the structure will be anchored to the cement. With the riser installed, he can start adding the stair treads. Then the stringers can be added. Before long, the new staircase is really taking shape. All that's left to add is the railings, and another project will be complete. Another place Sharon and I like to spend time is down by the creek. We often wander along the shore here looking for treasures left behind from the old cannery days.
Just found this nice piece, broken in the back. That's okay, still pretty. Look what Sharon just found. Eee! Opium! So cool.
There are some beautiful wildflowers growing down here too, and more mint than I know what to do with. Not only do I use it in the kitchen, but I also enjoy bringing a little bit of nature indoors by making bouquets. This morning, I'm heading out to gather one more seasonal ingredient before it's gone for another year. Any excuse to get outside is a good one, even when it's raining. These bright green spruce tips will be infused into a syrup that I'll use for one of the guest desserts this summer. I start by blending them and infusing them into a simple syrup, which is 1 part sugar and 1 part water. Before it fully boils, I remove it from the heat and let it steep for at least 24 hours. The result is a bright, citrusy syrup that tastes like spring in the rainforest. Meanwhile, the guys are tackling a smaller boardwalk rebuild now. Just like the first project, they start by removing the rotting wood and then start replacing the beams and joists. This time though, there's no A-frame boom to help, just muscle and a chain cinch. Before long, the new boardwalk is going down, and most of the project is complete in a single day. And while all that is happening outside, I'm inside, staying warm and dry, preparing all the meals and snacks, and doing my best to keep everyone well fed, feeling good, and ready for another day of work. With the boardwalk projects wrapped up, it's time to say goodbye to John Salo as he heads back to Malcolm Island. It's always a pleasure having him around. He's got some of the best stories you'll ever hear and a wealth of knowledge about the coast. We wish you a very safe journey home, John. See you again next month. Today is also departure day for a few other members of the crew. Ted is heading out, but will be back in a couple of nights. Kevin and Rob are also heading out, but on a different plane. Luckily, we will also be seeing them next month when the next project gets underway. For now, though, it's just the 4 of us. Oh, and Sealy Dan. With half the staff gone, including the lodge manager, who also happens to be Dwayne's brother, the vibe around here feels completely different. But there's still lots of work to keep us busy. Dwayne has been spending a lot of time pressure washing and helping Christian tackle a few repairs around the cannery. They've been getting some good quality time together. Ted's already back, and him and Dwayne have been doing some fishing. They brought home some beautiful bottom fish to fill their freezer, and I'm always happy to lend a hand. They also brought back some black seaweed similar to nori and dried it in the sun. When it rained, Dwayne brought it into the dry room. We'll definitely be using some of this in the kitchen this year, but I'm not exactly sure how yet. Working at a wilderness lodge means we rely entirely on generators to power everything. Once in a while, we draw a little more power than the system can handle and the power goes out. When that happens, Christian heads up to the generator shed and switches us over to the bigger generator. After the 75 warms up, he makes the switch. This evening, we received another gift from the ocean. We traded in our fish carcasses for some Dungeness crab. I've already got a salted pot of water going, but this time I'm not throwing them in alive. I think they experience less pain this way. The last crab put up a pretty good fight, but in the end, I won. After dinner, the slop gets taken out. All of the organic food waste gets put into a separate bin from the garbage and gets taken out into the inlet. Tonight, I'm heading out with Dwayne to practice my boating skills. Now, I'll try docking.
Oh God.
There you go.
We docked. I brought us in. Thank you.
As for the paper and plastics garbage, it usually goes into the incinerator, but ours is currently broken. So we are boating over to Dungeness Lodge, passing Wadhams along the way. Dungeness Lodge is one of the premier fishing lodges in Rivers Inlet, offering guests world-class fishing, comfortable accommodations, and incredible meals. What I admire most, though, is the people behind it. I've had the opportunity to work alongside the staff and owners at the Percy-Walker's hatchery and have seen firsthand the support they provide to the salmon conservation and enhancement projects in the inlet. The guys offered to burn our garbage for us, so we're heading back to the lodge. Thank you, Dungeness. And thank you all so much for watching. Take care until next time.